Welcome to Sword Box Ministries. Mickey wraps up part 3 of our family series with the final video on divorce. Our verse for the day is Psalm 127:1. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchman stays awake in vain.
Well, we began talking about yesterday about divorce and kids and how it affects them. We talked about some of the horrible statistics of what happens, or the risks that can happen with kids of divorce. And you know, it's one of the big problems for these kids is a parent is missing, whether it's mom or whether it's dad. It creates a void in their lives, and it can create a lot of insecurity. Kids can go out and try to self-medicate. Many different things and many different problems can come to a young kid as a result of a broken family. So what are some things we can do as parents to help after a divorce? I would say the number one thing is to simply be there. Be there for your kids consistently. And if you're giving them back and forth, as most parents have to go through some type of joint custody, when you're supposed to have your kids, make sure you do. When you don't show up, when you make empty promises, your kids feel rejected. It creates insecurity, in a sense they're not valuable. You know, being consistent, being on time, and keeping your word will all help to bring back some sense of security and normalcy to their lives. You know, we only have a short time to pour our lives into these little blessings of God. Soon they grow up and they're on their own way. Psalm 90:12 says, "Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom." To know that our time is short, to know that we need to value each and every day, is to gain a heart of wisdom. Number two, I would encourage you to reestablish the boundaries with your kids. You know, going back and forth between homes can be confusing and create chaos for the kids. You got to sit them down and make sure that they understand what you expect in your home. Don't just assume that it's going to be the same in both places. There still has to be rules, and there has to be discipline, and there has to be order. Kids need boundaries. It's another way that they feel loved and they feel secure. Number three, I would just say, you know, you got to keep God number one in your house. Get your kids to church. Read the Bible together. Pray together. Make Jesus the priority in your home. Psalm 127:1 says, "Unless the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain who build it." Joshua 24:15 is a great verse, says, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." I remember quoting that often back when my son was lost and running with the wrong crowd. I was a single parent, but I began to claim this verse, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord," long before that was the case. But now, of course, that is the case. My son's been saved, and as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And you need to declare those words of faith over your home too. Number four, if possible, find a good Christian counselor that can sit down with your kids and can talk to them about the things that they may feel uncomfortable talking to you about. Someone who can help them deal with or vent to in regards to this divorce. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors, there is safety." I mean, let's face it, we just may not be able to help our kids through everything they're dealing with. Some kids bottle everything up, or maybe they just feel uncomfortable sharing certain things with their parents. Maybe they're afraid they're going to hurt you by what they say, or maybe they feel they're going to betray the other parent by talking to you about it. So be proactive, and don't wait until they get into all kinds of trouble or become overwhelmed to get them help. Getting good, godly counsel is a wise move. Now, no, I've only mentioned a few problems with kids in divorce, and I've only given you a couple things that as single parents we could do. My purpose certainly wasn't to give an in-depth study here, but more or less to bring attention to the problems, or some of the problems that exist for kids of divorce. We'll discuss more about kids in divorce as we begin talking about single parenting. Tomorrow, I want to switch gears just for a day and talk about some of the world events that's been going on, and then we'll pick up on single parenting. God bless you guys. Thanks for sticking with us every day. We love you. God bless you. We'll see you back.